I have to say, I saw you on another network not long ago, and I said, is she going to get here? Is Senator Pugh going to get here? You have really placed yourself on the front lines here.
Well, it's my community. You know, I represent that area, and it's easy to be in the middle of something when you're there all the time. And people don't mind you coming and walking through when you walk through there all the time. And I understand the frustration of the people. I understand the pain that everybody is suffering. You know, by no means do I condone violence or the looting and so forth that occurred, but I do understand what has taken place. And people want honesty, they want truth, and they're frustrated. And so, you know, I go there every evening, and I've been there sometimes from 10 to, one day I remember being there from 8 a.m. in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, and standing there because I want people to understand that we care. We care about the people, and that we're going to seek and get the truth as it relates to Freddie Gray. But what was more important than that was understanding that he had become symbolic. He's symbolic of many folks who've been caught up in the criminal justice system or arrested by a police officer whose lives have been ended, who've been shot or whatever by the police. And that's not to say that our police aren't doing a good job in many cases, and for the most of them are doing the right thing. But there is a lack of cultural diversity in our department. It is majority white police department. And I think that I was saying, somebody was talking about, well, what about criminal justice reform? And I said, one of the things I think really has to take place over a period of time for police officers, and I had this discussion because one of my friends is a social worker. She said, you know, sometimes I become incensed because I see the same thing every day.
Yeah.
And I said, well, perhaps what needs to happen is there needs to be psychological evaluation every few years. It's like a rotation so that nobody's caught off guard or anything or think that they're being targeted. But there needs to be psychological evaluation of our police officers over a period of time to make sure that they have the capacity and the propensity to continue to do the job in the streets that's required, that allows them to continue to respect the people that they're supposed to protect and serve.
Because we have created a numbness, really, among all of us who are out there, among police, among social workers, is a numbness when something is a constant. You lose the ability to react to it from a deeper human perspective. Am I right about that?
You're absolutely right about that. But I think that what you see swelling up and bubbling up in people is when they walk out of their doors in some of the neighborhoods, because we do have a beautiful city in many areas, but there's some areas that are still suffering that look like the 1968 riots.
Yeah.
So when they walk out their doors and they're continuing to face boarded up homes and they don't have jobs, and economic opportunities don't exist in their neighborhoods, and the businesses are small, you know, it creates a problem. And when people are suffering, in many cases, some from drugs or whatever they're suffering from, and the help that they need is not there, then, you know, it raises concern for people who live around them and who care about their communities and their neighborhoods. But I just want to say this, because I think it's important that we don't look at the African American community in a monolithic way.
Absolutely.
You know, because we, you know, first of all, you know, we go from one extreme to the other, wealthy to the very poor. But in our communities is the capacity to build and expand businesses. And what I'm saying and continue to say is that America has a race problem, and there's a discussion that needs to be had at a higher level that allows us to understand that we have to distribute wealth in our communities. When we pay taxes and we have to put fees on people's utility bills and so forth, everybody needs to participate. So this is just, you know, this is symbolic, but more importantly, I think we can move our city forward, and I'm asking people in our city, be patient. Let our state's attorney do the investigation. Look forward to the federal investigation. It's not just a criminal investigation, it's also a civil investigation.
State Senator Pugh, nice
Thank
to
you.
see you as
Thank
always.
you so much.
Thank you.